Birthday Howard, birthday Howard Shai, birthday Howard, birthday Howard Shai, Kapla Howard Bashin Howard Shai, Bashin Howard Kakadash, double honor to the elder apostle, a great minister, who will. Spirit I take to the Aki, I put to the truth across the four corners of the earth, to the fear and power of Yahweh Bashin Howard the hope for elect. And shalom to the Israelite foreigner that are scattered among all the nations throughout the world who believe in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And shalom to the sister and family that are tuning into this doctrine that preach around the whole world. Peace and mercy unto you. And who the world inwardly call God, his name is Yahweh. And who the world inwardly call Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai. And the Hebrew Israelite that consists of you still called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and those who line this descendant go back to one of the 12 tribes of Israel due to the scattering. Alright. Now the post that the elder apostle the hard uploading his video and pretty a re-upload of a clip from the put up in the Baltimore camp, if I'm not mistaken. All right, he basically a lady doing a video about her dream about a so-called black man coming from out of the sky. All right, you check it out. We can play it, and then we get back to the video.
I've never dreamt before, and I'm just letting you know that this is my first dream. This is my first dream, so I wrote it down and I felt led to share. So I was walking down the street, regular, like in my town where I live, and I'm just walking down the street, and I go, and there was people outside, and I see like a chaos, and I'm like, what's going on? So I go and I look to the left, and I see something descending from the sky. And like the first thing I thought, I was like, oh my God, that's the deception. That's gotta be this government, like with the aliens and stuff, doing a deception. But as I go and it comes closer, I seen him, you guys. When I tell you that I seen Jesus, I seen him, but he's not like what we think he looks like. He didn't look like that. He doesn't have blonde hair and long hair and all that. That's not how he came. He came down, and he was descending, like it was like in a cloud, but he was on a horse, and he was with somebody else, and he was with something else. I don't know who he was with. I wasn't allowed to see that, but I know that he didn't come down by himself. And he had short hair, not like a fade or anything, but it was like a short hair, and he was like my complexion. He was like dark skinned, and he had a crown on his head, and he wasn't smiling, you guys. He was not smiling, and he didn't look at me or anything, but I saw him, and he was coming down, and as he was coming down, landing on the ground, I looked to the right hand side, and I seen in the heavens, I seen the kingdom of heaven. I seen like a city in the clouds, and it's like, when you have like a mist in the clouds, and it comes like clearer and clearer. I saw like a city, and I was like, and I hear people saying the Messiah, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Jesus. I'm like, oh my God, it's Jesus, and he came down. So I go and I start running. Because I'm looking for my husband. And as I keep running, I see on the right side and the left side, it was these demons coming.
Alright, so that's majority of the dream. Basically, he thanked Jesus Christ, but his true name is Yahweh Shai. I mean, he delivered. All right. Yeah, I mean, he and Yahweh Shai mean delivered. So he gonna deliver the elect, but he also coming to coming in that fury. All right, to bring vengeance upon this place. Now, first we get Revelation 1:7. It said, "Behold, he cometh with cloud." All right. So he's not coming in an actual cloud. He's coming in what the world will call UFO. All right, but they're chariots. All right, which means in the Hebrew word "karab" means to ride in. All right, those are the vehicles that the house trying the angel ride in. All right. and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindred of the earth shall wail because of him, even though all men. So everybody be able to see him, alright, because you come in the biggest ship that there is, and everybody can be able to see him, okay? You know, let's get this and let's call it. So basically, I'm gonna bring this up on my phone and NLT. This is Revelation 1 and 7 NLT. Oh, that's not it. Never mind. So basically, yeah, he coming with cloud and he's angry. Alright? So I think there's a scripture on that. When we talk about angry. The Revelation 19 and 12, his eyes, let's talk about Yahweh Shai, were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Yahweh. Alright? And that picture of blood, talking about a sacrifice that he had in Bosworth. Alright? Jeremiah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Let me just search it. I'm just going to go straight to the point. Isaiah 34:6, the sword of the Lord, how about y'all try is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lamb and goat, with the fat of the kidney of ram, for the glory. How about y'all try have a sacrifice in Bosworth, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And that's mainly America, but also where the so-called white people drilling at. All right, but mainly here in America. Idumea is the Greek way thing of Edom. Isaiah 53:1, who is that cometh from Edom with thy garment from Bosworth? All right, Bosworth is the city that was in the land of Edom, but now it's America, because the city is the people before it's a place. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. All right. Quick view. What's the next verse? Verse 2, wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garment like him that treadeth in the winepress? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there were none with me. But I will tread them in my anger. See, the Yahushua is coming back in his anger. So he's coming back as an angry, so-called black man. All right? Like you said, he didn't have no smile on his face. He had an angry look on his face. Why? Because he coming back. That's why we read in Revelation 1:7, even them that pierced him. So he coming back to recompense. All right? He coming back to pay back what they had done to him and what they had done to the children of Israel and to the earth. All right? It's a whole long list of things that the wicked have done. Okay? That they need to be pay a visit for, so to speak. Okay? It said, I will tread them in my anger and trample them in my fury. Alright? And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garment, and I will stain all my raiment. The day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeem is come. Because he could have redeemed the elect of Israel, the children of Israel. Alright? The 1/3 of Israel and 144,000 men within that 1/3 of Israel. It said, and I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury upheld me. And I would thread down the people in my anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I would bring down their strength to the earth. I will mention the loving kindness of the Lord Yahweh Shai, and the praises of the Lord Yahweh Shai, according to all that the Lord Yahweh Shai has bestowed upon us. Alright? So that's pretty much the point, man. You coming to bring back, basically coming to bring judgment. Alright? Hold on. Alright, so we go back. A day of 56. Oh, no. Let me go back to Revelation. Alright, but Revelation 19 and 14. And the army which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Alright, so we read in Revelation says, behold, coming with cloud, plural, so there'll be multiple ships coming with him. Revelation 19 and 14 back that up. And the army which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, and out of their mouths goeth a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nation, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and tread at the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahweh. Alright? So he coming back to destroy it. Okay? And one more scripture before I get another scripture that back that up. It's Isaiah 47 and 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, Yahweh Shai, and I will not meet thee as a man. So he's not coming back to meet you people here on earth as a man. Alright? He's coming back and it's all powerful. Alright, in angelic force. It's taking Exodus 13 and 2. Lo, there arose a wind from the sea, and that it moved all the way thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. When he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. To see how it's coming. Alright. And whatsoever the voice went out of his mouth, they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth felleth, but it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to do the men that came out of the sea, which is Armageddon. Alright. Joel 3 World War III. All right, Ezekiel 38. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. All right, and that mountain is talking about a chariot. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. All right, and that's how massive the ship is. It's going to be bigger than the earth. That's how the whole earth is going to be able to see him. And after this, I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to do him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, which could be from chariot, it had been a blast of fire out of his lip, a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out spark and tempest, which is that lasers. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burnt them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. See? So all these people were going to be dapped just like that. Okay? So, she said, she said Jesus Christ was named Yahweh Shai. That's why he coming back with that vengeance, all right, to bring in his fury, all right, to pay back. And on the other side of that, he's gonna, like I said, he's gonna redeem the elect of Israel. Okay, so with that, that's what